Hey y'all, it's Ricky T, and I'm coming to ya from my deck here at the Taylor Plantation in beautiful Beech Grove, Indiana. It was a hot day here at the beginning of September, but it's starting to cool down a little bit. And while, as you can see, if I move this in the right way, well, I can't really move it in the right way. I don't have as many trees as I used to. I just dropped $5,000 to have a tree completely taken down and another one taken down to the top of the trunk. But it's still pretty cool back here compared to the out front. We still got all of the woods out here, so not bad. So I tend to sit on the balcony up front a lot, so I thought I would come out here tonight just because it is a little cooler. And I got a review for you, as you probably have figured out. So this is the second review in my journey, my beer journey that I'm doing with Hunter. And so the second beer, you saw I did Miller Lite probably. Now we're starting to get into beers that I'm not as familiar with. So today we're going to do a beer right here. It's called Pilsner Urquell. Pilsner Urquell. This actually, as I try to pour this beer is actually the very first Pilsner. Very first Pilsner ever. It's from the Czech Republic. It got really like super popular. So then the Germans decided they were going to steal the recipe and started making beers similar to this. As the story goes, I like to give you a little bit of history, just a little bit. And so that became the Pilsner. Now the American Pilsner that we're used to is a little different than this. In that, from what I'm reading on this, we're looking at 40 IBUs. 40 IBUs. So it seems like it's going to be kind of a hoppy beer, probably a bitter beer. Which, by the way, I'm pairing it up with a Olla de Nicaragua número uno. Olla de Nicaragua número uno. Ho. Here it is. Check it out. I want to give a big shout out to my Uncle Rusty, who purchased this cigar for me. He also sent me a Placencia, which I've got in the humidor. These two cigars show up. There's no receipt. There's no nothing. I had no idea. I thought maybe the cartel had sent these cigars to me and laced them with fentanyl or something. I had no idea. They're sitting in my house for 2 weeks because I'm scared to smoke them. All of a sudden, one night, my Uncle Rusty randomly calls me and he says, "Hey, did you get a gift from me in the mail?" I'm like, "No, not that I know of." "You didn't?" "No." "Well, I sent you 2 cigars." I'm like, that's where they came from. So anyway, I digress. But this is a really good cigar. So Uncle Rusty, thank you. I love you, brother. You're my man. All right, back to the beers. Pilsner Urquell. So anyway, Pilsners in the United States are not as bitter. At least what I'm thinking this is going to be. And I actually got a McDonald's glass. Yeah, but it kind of looks like a beer glass. It's a little darker than what we normally see here in America. Unlike, it doesn't look like Miller High Life, or it doesn't look like Budweiser. It doesn't look like Coors Banquet beer or anything. It doesn't look like none of that. So anyway, I don't like a hoppy beer. That's my preference. And really, it's not even my preference. It's my body does not metabolize hops very good. Hops, just by the nature of what they are, they're a sedative. I don't know if you guys know that. And if I drink a hoppy beer, not only is it bitter, and I don't like the bitter taste, but I'm out. I'm nighty-night. I'm out if I drink a hoppy beer. I cannot touch pale ales. But I will be reviewing some here in the next couple of weeks, so that might be fun. Anyway, this has been sitting here, and I don't want it to get warm, so let's give her a couple of sips and see what the hell we have. It's a little bit bitter. It's bitter, yeah. Got some bitterness. This beer's been in the refrigerator for a few days. I wish I would have put it, oh my gosh, that bitterness just boom, exploded in my mouth. I wish I would have put it in the freezer for maybe 45 minutes because it's cold, but it's not ice cold. Yeah, man, at the front of the palate, you don't really get the bitterness, but then as you swallow it, boom, it's an explosion of bitterness. Do I get any flavors other than bitterness in this? I don't get a whole hell of a lot on the nose, to be honest with you. But I'm a whiskey guy, so I'm more used to whiskey, the whiskey notes and stuff. Not a whole lot. Supposedly, this is only 4.4% alcohol by volume. So fairly low alcohol, which can maybe kind of mitigate some of that bitterness. But yeah, if you like a bit of bitter, this is not super bitter, okay? Don't get me wrong, it's not super bitter. This is probably, like if you're a pale ale guy, you like the super bitter stuff, this would probably be your gateway into that. Not super bitter, but, and here's kind of the weird thing. The bitterness hits mid-palate, for me at least. I noticed, like, when I first drink it, nothing, the mid-palate, right before I'm swallowing, I'm getting it, and damn, it lingers. It lingers. I'm trying to get some flavor notes for you, but the bitterness is just, maybe it's in my head, I don't know. I'm getting something, and the reason I keep taking little drinks, I'm trying to figure out what it is. Could it be some kind of fruit? Here's the problem. And the more you drink this, the more the bitterness seems to rise, because you still got the lingering bitterness from the previous sip, and then you take the next sip, and then the more sips you take, you got continuing lingering from the previous sips, and I feel like the bitterness kind of hides the flavor notes. I'm getting 2 or 3 little flavor notes, but every time they're starting to kind of hit me, boom, that bitterness kind of hides them. Weird as hell. Some sort of fruit, but I'm not going to be able to. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be able to figure out what it is. So overall, this is fairly light on the mouthfeel, fairly thin. A lot of times with these bitter beers, you're thinking they're going to be thicker and have that creamier mouthfeel. This is thicker, lighter. But man, if you like a bitter beer, you'll like this. You'll love this. I hate bitter beers, and like, I'm having to puff this cigar. To try to get rid of that bitterness. It just lingers, man. It's just lingering forever. It's not going away. So like, as soon as this video's done, I'm gonna go pour some whiskey. That's what I'm gonna do. But I mean, like I said, it's fairly light. The mouthfeel is fairly thin. It's got some flavor, but the bitterness is just hiding it, in my opinion. And I'm not a connoisseur of higher, mid to high IBU beers. So maybe it's my inexperience with that particular genre of beers, but it's not terrible. If you would knock those 40 IBUs down to 20 IBUs, this might be something more drinkable. But for me, and my preference, I would never buy this. And if somebody offered me one, I'd probably turn it down. Now, keeping in mind, I like a lot of the German beers. I'm a heavy guy. I like wheat beers, which they're like 10 IBUs or 5 IBUs. I really don't like to go above 15 IBUs personally, and this one's at 40, so that's the main difference. So that's it. I've talked too much already. Not bad, especially if you like some bitterness, not bad, but man, even smoking this cigar, it's lingering. So that's it. So it's been the Pilsner Urquell out of the Czech Republic. And I'll be doing 2 more next week. And I think we're going to start hitting a German beer next week. So I'm actually looking forward to that. So until next time, y'all know what it is. Until next time, God bless America.